Hi, welcome back. By now you should have read the course syllabus and the welcome, so you have a good layout for what this course is going to entail. If you have any questions along the way, please make sure you contact me immediately. I'd much rather be able to take care of any questions or concerns right up front rather than to have you wait. So please just keep me posted if there's anything at all that you need. And hopefully we're getting to know each other a little bit more from our introductions that you did in the Getting Started section and from our first discussion. I'm wondering, how did you feel after participating in the dyslexia simulation? I'm hoping that you had some feelings and got to experience what it might be like to walk in the shoes of our struggling students and what they face every day. Did you feel frustrated, annoyed? Did you feel defeated? Think about that and relate that to our students that we see who struggle. So we're ready to move on to Module 1. I'll let you know that this describing of what you're going to be doing is going to sound way more scary than it's really going to be, so just hang on and bear with me. This module is based on 2 of the International Dyslexia Association standards that you read about and that I talked about in the Getting Started section. The standards are going to be C, which is Knowledge of Dyslexia and Other Reading Disabilities, as well as Standard A, the Foundations of Oral and Written Language. There will be readings and activities and some discussions for each of these standards. The first one will be Standard C, and for that section you'll be reading an introduction, first of all, on the standard. You'll read about 10 myths about dyslexia, and what I'd like you to do as you're reading those is compare what you find out with what you originally posted in the Getting Started section for your discussion question about what you thought you knew at that time about dyslexia. And just reflect back, has that enlightened or changed anything that you originally believed about the topic? Maybe it clarified some things for you. You'll also be reading the technical definition of dyslexia, different types of dyslexia, and information on the signs and symptoms, characteristics of dyslexia and reading disabilities. You'll also be watching a video called Dyslexia and the Brain. I find brain research really interesting, so I hope that that will shed some light on the topic for you as well. You'll then be doing your first footprint for this module, which is called a 3-2-1 writing. And what that entails basically is you'll be writing 3 interesting or important facts from the information about dyslexia that you've gathered from this module so far in Standard C. Then you'll be writing 2 thoughts or connections to the information. And finally, 1 question that you have at this point that we can talk about and that I can hopefully answer for you, or certainly find the answer for you. And there will be a rubric, so please refer to that for this writing. Then you'll be reading about just a brief snippet on how dyslexia is diagnosed, and then doing another footprint. And this is a writing. Again, it's a short writing, a paragraph or 2. Applying what you've read so far about the signs and symptoms, the types of dyslexia, and other facts that you've gained so far to explain how you'll use this information to help you identify students who you work with that are struggling in reading or writing. I want this to be a real life application thought for you and a step along that direction. Then next you'll be reading about current legislation and some general information on dyslexia. And finally, reading about tailoring instruction to the needs of your struggling students. And then you'll be doing a final footprint for Standard C. It's going to be a discussion post where we'll talk about how is the information that you read about in the tailoring instruction part alike or different than your current instructional practices that you've been using at this time. I think, again, that this will be a good discussion that we can actually take with us and use in our everyday lives as we work with our students. I want it to be real and meaningful for all of us. I know I'll be learning a lot from all of you during this step as well. You'll be posting your comment to the discussion and then responding to at least 1 other person's comment here as well. All right, so that's Standard C, and then moving on in Module 1 to Standard A activities. Now, listen, Standard A may feel a little dry. The reason it may be that way is that it's a lot of information on some basic information. Things like we'll be talking about the history of English, the development of oral and written language, We'll be talking about, remember Charles' stages of reading, processes involved in reading, and choosing appropriate text for the purpose that you want it for. So for some of you, this information will feel dry, but the reason I think it's important is that it's difficult for you to know where to pick up on a student's needs if you don't, or if you're not really able to determine correctly what stage they're in as you meet them. You have to meet them where they are and then know how to develop them from there. So it's just we have to know some of these basic facts before we can really kind of diagnose our students and determine where they are right now. And then for some of you, this may be review. Okay, so on Standard A, there will be an introduction that you'll be reading for the standard. And I think I talked about already all of the different basic topics in this section. You'll be reading also about language processing requirements of literacy. And taking all this information together, you'll be doing a final footprint for the module where you'll write an AHA. And by an AHA, I mean taking something from Standard A that you've discovered during this time that really interests you, or was something where you said, oh, now I understand, or aha. Take that information and explain how you'll apply that concept to benefit your students. Again, I want this to be something that's authentic for you, so something that you'll actually use when you go back to teaching your students. And there will be a rubric for this assignment as well, so you can refer to that. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me, and we'll get on that right away. Have fun, good luck, great learning, and I'll see you back in Module 2.